Self-initiation is a scam. Is it really a scam? This topic has always been interesting. Very interesting. So let me cut to the chase. I think I've been quiet and I've allowed so many traditional healers to take advantage of my quietness, and they started attacking me online. I'm very polite in my spirit. I just thought I might have to somehow stand up and show them that I'm not clueless about what I'm talking about. So let's address the elephant in the room. Whether traditional healers would like to accept that self-initiation is true or not, self-initiation is true. We are legit, we are here, and the things we do to the world, no one can disregard. So let's talk about this. They keep saying that if you're a self-initiate, how are you able to do everything by yourself? Do you just sleep and wake up as a healer? I'd like to educate you a little bit. One, when we talk about self-initiates, we talk about people who come from different galactic origins. These galactic origins, we talk about the Pleiadians, the Lyrians, the Orions. We talk about crystal children, rainbow children. We talk about indigo children, people who are born with a highly evolved consciousness. So when we talk about such people, already I've mentioned that these are people who come with an evolved consciousness, with supernatural abilities. So they don't need training, or they need little training to remember. So the reason why we still keep saying they're self-initiates, from a young age, they're equipped with high intuitive abilities. And these intuitive abilities, they will help them to navigate, to see and understand and gravitate towards their gift. They're able to see spiritually, to feel, to sense. They're highly empathetic. So the people we are talking about know from a young age they're spiritually gifted. It's the kind of people you cannot bewitch, no matter how young they are. It's the kind of people who can read through your mind. So we're talking about people who were born naturally gifted. So the training they need is little to none. So if I say little to none, some might think that I actually tied my tongue, or I'm like a dog who's running through a long rope, then I got caught. No. So the reason why they need little to no training, it's simply because when you were born in a family of Christians who believe that a spiritual gift that aligns to spiritual traditions is demonic, already you are disadvantaged. It means that you will grow up knowing that this is demonic. And by the time you have to start executing your gift, you're already lost. Your family didn't give you a solid background and help you understand the cultural tradition that administers your healing. So that's when you need little training. You go through a training Yama course. Now, again, when we talk about self-initiates, we talk about people who come from traceable royal bloodlines. We don't call them royal healers. We don't call them elite healers because we think they are better, or we think we are better. But we are talking about traceable royal bloodline. My great-grandfather was born of a chief who had 7 wives, who had a kingdom, and all his sons, had opportunities to become chiefs after him. They were his successors. But my grandfather moved away from the life of chieftaincy and moved into a normal life and became a leader in the society where he lived. So I have traceable royal bloodlines from the great chief. So now, we are not just saying this. And again, let me give you a little bit of a teaching in terms of evolution of human spirits. When humans start to incarnate in the world, they start as normal spirits that are here to experience the pleasures of the world. They are here to touch, feel, taste, in essence, to experience the senses. But once they excel in that level, they die and come back for another lesson. So when they come for another lesson, there are different lessons to which we come to experience and to learn as we incarnate and reincarnate. But comes a level where you have substantially grown spiritually, then the first level, you will be spirit possessed. Because according to your evolutionary journey, you've never been a healer who is proficient in their craft. So you need as an ancestor will come and make you sick so that you go for formal initiation. It's normally ubungoma. That's why you go through an initiation process that takes you a longer period of time, and you find someone who will teach you, align your ancestors, and also allow you to elevate in your spiritual gift. So once you live in that, you die and come back and excel being isangoma. And you start taking people through initiation. Your ancestors will give you a title. That's when they start showing you leopard print. You will wear a leopard print and you are inkosi, in your craft, in your own right. You are not born from royal bloodline. You're not an elite healer. But you are a master in your level of spiritual healing. When you die, you will come back as igedla, an alchemist, a traditional healer who has learned all the basic practices. Sorry about that. All the basic practices through their previous lifetimes. So when they are born, they are already born with an intuition that can see and connect to the earthly elementals. They're able to connect to the plants, they're able to connect to the moon, and they can connect to the water, which endows and empowers their intuitive abilities. So now, when they come at that level, they don't need training because through their previous lifetimes, they've been adequately trained by Okobela as Abangoma. After that, they will now become Amagela. So Amagela need no training because they have practiced and mastered in their previous lifetimes. In that particular lifetime, their intuition is open. It's advanced. They can connect to energies that I had mentioned. So that's why they need little to no training and they start dreaming. And for the spiritual entities like their guardian angels and ancestors, it's easy for them to communicate with because their consciousness is evolved. They've got a high level of lucidity. They can dream and see and remember. They can comprehend spiritually. So once you master that level of being an alchemist, you will basically go to other levels of being a prophet. Because when we talk about a prophet, we talk about someone who also has a high intuition. That's why Amagedla and prophets can be trained or no training. They can still function because they were born with a gift which is well developed. They need little to no training. For people who are trained spiritually as prophets, sometimes it takes 2 weeks. Different from Amagedla, different from Ubungoma. Now, when you master these levels, then you have mastered Ubungoma and you have mastered Ubupropheti, you've mastered Ubugedla. I spoke about a shaman, you've mastered being a shaman. You've also mastered being a prophet. You've also mastered being an alchemist. So when you combine all these experiences, you come back on a level of elevation where you can be incarnated as a soul that comes from royal bloodline that has both gifts. Your parents will possess both gifts. Just because your spirit had excelled these gifts in its previous incarnations, it's easy for your spirit to now be incarnated into royal bloodline, and it's going to have so much spiritual power. That's when you are no longer guided by human or ancestral spirits alone, but you are also guided by deities. We call them gods, water gods. People from Christian religion or people from religions would call them marine spirits. I'm not concerned about that. Yes, we are guided by them, and I'm not even ashamed of that. So when you go into that level, you start dreaming of mermaids. You start dreaming of inzunza, inkanyamba. These are very powerful deities. We don't call them ancestors because they're not human or ancestral spirits, but they're deities. At the top of them all, here's inzunza. But it comes in different forms to people. So when you are at that level, now you are closer to becoming an ascended master because you started by mere mundane experiences from your omega point, which is the point of inception when you are incarnating into this dimension, until you go up to the omega point where you become the God self. Because when you are here, you might even come at life path number 9, where spiritual powers are so heightened that you even become a medium, someone who can tap into the realm of those who have passed on to the other side. That's when you can become a true powerful healer who can heal without any spirit possession. That's when you can become a healer who is able to sleep and see things. Because now the sad part is, because in our society, we've got more traditional healers who went through formal initiation yobungoma than people who know themselves. Everyone generally goes through that type of initiation. So a lot of people who are born from royal bloodlines have went through that initiation and didn't quite get it right. But I'm not here to judge. They just didn't figure it out in the beginning, if I'm to be sincere about it. So until such a point where you understand who you are able to take up your spiritual power, exercise your God power. That's why a person like me, who comes from royalty, who's an elite healer, who's a royal healer, I'm not bound by time. Every clock that I put, because I'm guided by inzunza, every clock that I have in my house on my wrist, it actually gets damaged no matter how expensive it is, because I've transcended the limitations of time. I can go to the river and do whatever at 12 p.m. when everyone says this is a holy hour, this is a holy minute. No one can go into the river. I can take you to the river in the beginning, in the evening, in the morning, anytime, because I've transcended the dimension of time. But there's still those who are still caught up in the dimensions of time, who are still growing spiritually. By saying this, I'm not trying to instill the spirit of comparing and judging and grading, But one fact that traditional healers who are narrow-minded cannot take away from this conversation, it's the fact that we are going through evolution. We are not equal in spirit. There are spiritual healers who are powerful. There are spiritual healers who have average powers, and there are those who have minimal powers. Even with traditional healers, it's just the same. So now the problem comes when they say, you self-initiates want to be assisted by Abangoma. Yes, that's true. Because one, self-initiates is a lost nation. Two, self-initiates doesn't understand what self-initiation is. And three, I'll make an example. If you're about to be a president, you can be taught by a grade 1 teacher who's normal. Just a normal degree, normal qualification. Even if you're going to be a president, you can be trained by anyone who's got a decent spiritual power and the knowledge to guide you through. Even you as a mentor or as a gobela, you know for a fact that you don't only train people whom you are stronger than. You can train someone who's more powerful and more stronger than you. And it's a fact that ancestors are not the same, are not equal, and we don't have the same mission. So if I'm here to fight spiritual warfare, I'll be stronger than your ancestors who are here to inspire and teach in terms of spiritual warfare. We are not the same. When it comes to teaching, you are stronger. So instead of looking at these things as comparison over a hierarchy, let's look at them as different types. Royal healers are here to solve certain types of problems. Sangomas are here to solve certain types of problems. Prophets, everyone has a role. If we stop comparing who is who, then we can do better. But I know that, some traditional healers are narrow-minded and they feel like we are taking food out of their mouth. I can imagine. Sometimes I feel for them, because if you went through traditional training at Pechwing for 8 months, you were ripped off a huge amount of money. And at the end of the day, you were mistreated and you were just enslaved. When somebody wakes up and says, I'm an elite healer, I don't go through initiation, you definitely have to have a problem. And again, you must understand that the so-called elite healers or self-initiates come from different galactic origins. They know they are not normal human spirits. They cannot be subjected to human conditions and human standards. They are already taking information telepathically from their galactic origins. If you come from the Pleiadians, there is wisdom that comes with being a Pleiadian spirit that has incarnated in this human form. So we are not all the same. We've got light workers who come from another dimension, not the third dimension like other human spirits. We've got indigo children. We've got crystal children. We've got rainbow children. We've got Orion. We've got Lyrans. We've got other star seeds, different types of star seeds. These people, you can never compare to them if you are a traditional healer, because they can tap into any spiritual modality and they are high vibrational beings. Their influence, their caliber is of a different, vibration and feeling, because they don't come from the same dimension as the healers that spoke about. So if you're a traditional healer, you are open-minded, you can grow and tap into the wave of change, and you'll be able to innovate and grow with this wave, because we are growing. But if you are narrow-minded and you keep going against the facts that self-initiates exist, whether you like it or not, even if you are the most powerful Gobela, I don't care. But you must just know that we don't need your validation. We don't exist because you agree or you disagree, but we are here to stay, and self-initiates are by far the most powerful healers of our time, not because they are better than any other healing types of healers, but they've got a different mission, which is specifically meant for them. So now, in closing, I'd like to say that the moment we stop competing and start taking our roles and working together, we will be able to stop this conflict that confuses innocent people on the internet. We will be able to stop sending bad vibes and all this information which is destructive over our own egos, protecting our own traditions. But if you can look beyond the limitations of our traditions and look at why we are here and what we are here to do, we can make the world a better place. But if you want to keep fighting, I hope people see right through you and understand your motives for fighting and choose what is good. Because some of us, we are light workers. We're here to enlighten, to bring light. We're not here to bring up the confusion. We are not here to fight. We're not here to endorse anything which has limitations, but we're here to endorse freedom. As a spiritual person within spirituality, freedom is key. You must exercise what your spirit resonates with, what will make your spirit grow. So until we meet again on another video, I don't mean to fight with anyone, just stating the facts and addressing the elephant in the room. Let's meet again on another video. Please stay blessed.